begin tonight with a verdict of the Supreme Court, which yesterday dismissed an application by former Imo State Governor Emeka Ihedioha asking the Apex Court to set aside his January the 14th judgment that sacked him as the governor of Imo State. Now, the man you see there on your screen, Governor Uzodinma, remains governor of Imo State after the verdict of the Supreme Court, out of which 6 of the justices of the Supreme Court had opposition, and there was a dissenting judgment in that case. Let's hear from the governor what this judgment means to him and his party, and going forward, how he hopes to handle the already polarized situation in the state. I'm now being joined on the program tonight by the governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma. Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for coming tonight on the program. You gave us a pretty tough job yesterday because we expected you on the program yesterday, but we had a one-sided conversation because we had the former SSG speak all by himself. We understand that you had some other assignment to attend to, but thank goodness that you're here tonight. Let's begin by asking you your reaction to the Supreme Court judgment of yesterday. How does the judgment come to you? Where were you yesterday when you got a judgment?
Well, thank you very much. Yesterday I was absent. I was handling a public function, like if you can recall. Yesterday was the World Wildlife Day, and in Nigeria it was hosted by Imo State, and the function started by 10 a.m. in the morning and went through up to 4 p.m. So I was in that program. I flagged off the program and hosted and discussed with participants from all over the country. It was difficult for me to make a program. So sorry, there's another day. I'm here today. If you need me tomorrow, I'll still be able to join.
Thank you so much. So how does the judgment come to you? How did you receive the judgment?
Well, I thank the Almighty God that the Supreme Court, in their wisdom, reaffirmed the earlier judgment of the same court, the judgment which represented the feeling and the mandate of my people in the March 9th gubernatorial election. It is a very big challenge to me, and at the same time I feel very grateful and I give thanks to God. All I'm saying is that we all contested the election, and the purpose of coming to contest for an election is to have an opportunity to serve the people. I earlier said yesterday to my people in Imo State, all stakeholders, to come together. I will run an open government. I'll run an all-inclusive government, and I'll buy into good ideas. Anything that will help, we can leverage from to better the lot of my people will be welcomed. So I invite everybody, all sons and daughters of Imo State, including Honorable Emeka Ihedioha. I'm also inviting him through this medium to come and bring all good ideas he has that will help the state move to the next level.
Have you been able to reach out to him personally to speak to him after the judgment of yesterday?
Well, of course, I will first reach out to God, to thank God very well, and also congratulate the people of Imo State for the opportunity we will have to get back the mandate of the people. And then going forward, from tomorrow, I'll do my best to reach out to him personally.
Great. We understand now that the way things are going, but the former SSG said yesterday that you are a Supreme Court imposed governor. How do you react to that kind of statement?
If you watched the news and the reactions of Imo people in yesterday, how jubilant this place is, and how people up to today are still celebrating and thanking God for the mandate that has been recovered, you will agree with me that the former SSG is on his own.
Are you saying that what he said yesterday on this platform was not what you think Mr. Emeka Ihedioha's position, because he was speaking on behalf of Mr. Emeka Ihedioha as his principal?
If the SSG is honest, he will tell you that on March 9th, the day of the election, he told his sheets he was arrested and detained and charged to court. The moment Emeka Ihedioha was sworn in, the first thing they did was to enter a nollie and stop the prosecution of that case. How can such a man tell you actually what represents the genuine feelings of Imo people? I don't want to quarrel with anybody. I have come to serve the people. My people voted me. The mandate was stolen. Through the instrumentality of the judiciary, whom I'm very grateful to today, we recovered the mandate. I'll use this mandate to serve my people, not to use the mandate to begin to quarrel or fight.
We've seen what has happened since the Supreme Court gave its judgment earlier, and then following what became its final verdict yesterday. We saw some members of the House of Assembly from the PDP moved, and AA moved from those parties to the APC. Were these coercion, or they just voluntarily moved? Because some people are already insinuating that they didn't move on their own volition.
You know, justice delayed is not justice denied. These members of the House of Assembly are Imo people. They are Imo sons and daughters. They know all of us. They can write our testimonials. They know that the real politician whom the people voted for has now come. And they decided to join so that we'll be on the same page to develop the place. I think they are our people. The action very voluntary. Of course, I have no power to coerce anybody. If anything, PDP claimed to own everything in Imo State. But I can tell you Imo State is now one-party state.
Okay, so in what is happening today, some political analysts have described the situation in the APC in Imo State, that there are the APC PDP or the PDP APC in APC. They also said that there are the APC APC and there are the AA APC. From what some people were saying, that most of the people that were with you when you were a member of the PDP are getting most of the attention since you got into office. How do you hope to change this perception and perhaps bring together those who have who are aggrieved and now back in the APC? For example, your very good friend, Senator Rochas Okorocha and his followers.
I believe in the project Nigeria. I believe in national integration. I believe in national cohesion. I believe that Nigeria is one. And I believe where the political action is now is in APC, because it's the national ruling party. And if we must be part and parcel of the Nigerian project, which will belong to where other parts of the country are, APC is the party of the moment. And of course, this party controls the central government. And everything about existence in Nigeria and governance today is derived from the central government. So listening to me yesterday, I did say very loudly that I'm going to embark on political evangelism. I'm going to preach to my people to understand that yes, yesterday was PDP, today is now APC. And where we are today is where everybody should be. And gradually, those who have not been able to understand the realities of today, the political realities, will come to terms with those realities and join the ruling party. I'm a member of the APC. I was in PDP before this time. I've seen the difference. This is where to be now. And gradually, people will understand through conviction. This is democracy. It is government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So everything about the people is why I'm here. I'm not here for selfish interests. I'm not also here to quarrel with people. I'm here to serve the people based on the ideology of my party, my own political ideology, and what I believe that is the vision for our people. That is actually why I'm here to serve.
Governor Uzodinma, let's speak for a moment about governance and what you hope to achieve. For a moment, there are allegations that some people have not been paid salaries, workers in Imo State. When do you hope to offset some of these outstandings?
Well, since I came, I've just been here barely 2 months. The first month I paid full salary. The second month I've also paid full salaries. I know there are salary arrears. I'll sit down, wear my thinking cap, look at the economics of all these things, and see how best to begin to ensure that workers are paid. Because for me, there is no leader who is a real leader that will be happy not paying salaries of workers who have worked for him. So for me, it's a priority. But I will do verification. The moment those areas are established, we will work together and see how best to solve the situation. I don't want to begin to criticize past leaders now, but I think I still have time to study and understand the real situation on ground before final decisions will be made.
You said at some point that you are going to put security votes into governance or into paying salaries of workers. Are you still on that agenda of conversion of security votes into payment of salaries?
When I resumed office last month, I saw that the money that they got from Abuja was not enough to pay the salaries of workers. But I also observed that if I relinquish my security vote, it will be enough to pay workers. And that I did very voluntarily. And I will still stand by that. This month too, I've done the same thing. Next month, I'll do the same thing. My primary preoccupation now is to find out on how I can develop and create a very robust internally generated revenue to make governance easy for me. Because relying on the federal allocation, it will be a far cry to what is needed here to be able to have a meaningful governance. I think that I'm not going to take security because I don't need security votes. I need the money to provide security for the entire citizens of Imo State. I need the money to ensure workers are paid at the end of every month. We need the money to ensure that the schools are working. We still need a lot to do. I don't want to be protected personally and my citizens will be exposed. So those are so many things. Listen, Chen, we know I've been around for a very long time. I've seen all these things and they don't mean so much to me. I will exist as an individual. I will exist even taking salary or not taking salary. But look at the sorry state of the state. Look at how people are languishing. Look at how pensioners. I have a pension obligation of 56 billion before me now. Where will I get this money, Joe? We have to plan. You have to be a creative thinker. You have to do something different for you to be able to solve the problem. And by the grace of God, I'm sure we will get there.
Governor Uzodinma, stay with us for a moment. We need to take a break and take some messages. But when we come back, there's a very important message I need to get from you to the people of Imo State. That's going to be after this timeout. Then we'll also talk to my guests in our Abuja studio about the crisis in the APC. Don't go anywhere, everyone. We'll be right back. Thank you so much and welcome back to the program, everyone. Tonight is a day that perhaps the APC top hierarchy will get thinking, and a tough one. The embattled national chairman of the party, Comrade Adams Oshamale, is asked to step aside. What does this mean for the APC? For a moment, we've been talking to the governor of Imo State, Senator Hope Uzodinma, whose the judgment of Supreme Court went in his favor yesterday, and has been talking to us of what he wants to do as a governor going forward. So let's get back to the conversation and get some of his thoughts in some of his closing moments with us on the program. Thank you so much, Governor Uzodinma, for staying with us. If there is one thing that is paramount on your mind and on the table for you, for the people of Imo State, what would that be?
Well, first of all is the high level of insecurity in the state, the lot of the civil servants in the state, the almost near absence of federal government presence. Most of the institutions of governance are broken down. The attitude of the people has almost become anti the establishment. So we need to reinvent the state. And that is why I came with a 3R mantra: rehabilitation, recovery, and restructuring. So by the time we begin to implement all these my programs, all those things that will make the people go against the system, we begin to recover them. So we can recover the public confidence so that the life will be worthwhile once more. So that the people can believe government and government will have the opportunity to exhibit the governance. So I need the state to be recovered. I need the state to be what is sought. The confidence level of our people is corroding day by day as a result of this almost near lack of confidence in the system. So we need to, the broken down infrastructures, we need to bring them back. So governance is not just a bread and butter business. Governance is meant for thinkers. Governance is meant for people with ideas. Ideas rule the world, Femi. The world is becoming a global family. And people who must take this kind of business of answering leaders must lead with example, must have something to show, must have the strength to convince the followership. So these are some of the things that have made people like us be challenged to participate in this business of ruling the country. So I think, go ahead.
Quickly, you mentioned the second point in your three-point agenda, that is recovery. In that recovery agenda, you're hoping to get back perhaps what has been mismanaged, if there is any, in the state. Is that part of your plans?
The first thing to recover is the institutions of governance. You know, the institutions of governance has been broken down. As a result, corruption has taken over the society. When we provide checks and balances, when we bring down back these institutions, so people will now believe and know that what belongs to government belongs to somebody, as it is now in the state. People think that government structures, government properties can be tampered with, can be balkanized, can be vandalized, can be stolen. Stealing of public treasure is almost the order of the day. So we begin to call back to the attention of our people that what belongs to government belongs to all of us.
Are you going after some of those things that have been stolen, government funds or government properties that have been stolen? Are you going after those?
Of course, if there is anything in the process of doing this my job, I've seen any stolen thing of the government, of course I'll go for it. I'll recover it immediately. I'll do everything at my best to recover stolen properties of government, stolen monies, stolen anything. Of course, has to be recovered.
Before we go tonight, what's your reaction on what is happening to your party at the center? Your friend, the national chairman, has been asked to step aside. How do you react to that?
To the best of my knowledge, there's no NEC meeting. I don't know of any NEC meeting because the last I know, to remove a national chairman from office, it has to be a business by the convention or by the National Executive Committee. But I just heard that a court asked chairman to step aside. I don't know how a court can ask the chairman of a party to step aside. But because I don't know, I don't have the details, I'm not in position now to speak on that matter. But I just want to believe that APC is a big party. Even within the family, there are some aggrieved people. Some people will agree, some people will disagree. But they will have also a strong internal party mechanism for resolving grievances and disagreements.
No, although there is already a reaction from the acting national secretary of the party saying that, Mr. Victor Gedom, saying that they will abide by the court order. And in that sense, that it shows that power may have changed hands momentarily in the top hierarchy of your party. As it stands right now, how do you hope that this can be resolved? Do you think President Buhari should weigh in immediately?
You know, I cannot speak more on this matter because, like I just told you, I'm in Owerri and I'm speaking to you on Skype. So until I'm fully briefed, then I'll make contributions. But the party has also its constitution. I'm sure that the party will be governed by the provisions of the constitution of the party.